Aloha everyone, my name is Chee, and this is going to be the little follow-up video for the special in Ukulele Magazine that Sarah Maisel and myself have written for 2018. So there's going to be a couple different segments that we'll be going over, and I'll put in the description the times where, if you're looking for something specific, where that starts. Alright, so for the first thing that we're going to talk about is going to go all the way back and talk about tone, using something as simple as even our C major scale, and how to take the time to really think about the quality of sound that you're getting out of your ukulele. Now, again, the C scale is made up from the second string from your face, open C, the second fret, the next string, E, open, 1, 3, open, A, last string, 2, and 3. So again, we have a C open, 2, then open E, 1, 3, open A, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to play for you once, and really I'm going to focus on trying to get these lush, long notes. So it's going to sound like this. Now, a lot of times we tend to, kind of dive into the melody or dive into the songs and the phrases, and we forget to really focus on the quality of tone that we're getting. And a lot of times that has to do with the timing of the left and right hand together. For example, when I first started, a lot of times I would prep my finger for the next note on that left hand very quickly. But as soon as I prep that finger, it stops that original note from vibrating. So you have to time that left and right to hit and drop at the same time. Again, if my right hand comes back to the string too early, it also stops that from vibrating as well. And then the next string open, 1, 3. And over here, when I'm doing multiple fingers, if I let go of that initial finger too early, for example, open, 1, all of a sudden, once I release, I don't quite get that note I want to ring. So it's going to be open, hold it down, 1, hold it down, 3, to get those long, beautiful notes as we walk up. So same thing on the way back, we actually want to prep our fingers. So we can just release to the 2 when we need to, release to the open, prep 3 and 1, release to the 1, release to the open, 2, open. Now sometimes, again, this is kind of hammering in the fact that if we do have the left or right out of balance, it ends up sounding like that second example, a little bit more staccato. And unless we want to be deliberate with that, typically we want it to ring. And again, if you are, you should have the Ukulele Magazine in front of you, or if you want PDF versions of it for your own personal use, definitely send us an email at cheemaisel@gmail.com, and we'll get these PDFs to you. All right, now the next section. And again, with the tone thing, this really does revolve around everything that we do. Whether we're doing chord melody stuff or picking phrases. We want to make sure everything that we do is as clear and as articulate as we want it to be. A lot of times, again, we look so much for the melody and being able to go through the patterns that we forget how much we appreciate, having that tone there, making, again, referring to singers, there's great singers that don't do a lot of fancy runs, but they're so pure and crisp with their notes that it makes such a big difference. Okay, now, Alright, example 2A, where this is going to be going through that progression in A. So just to start, we have the A chord, 2 1 0 0, 2 1 0 0, and we'll just do 4 downs. Then the C sharp minor 7, which is just the bar 4. Then we're going to slide it down to the 2nd fret, and then we have an E7, which is 1 2 0 2 1 2. So try that again. A chord, 4th fret, 2nd fret, to the E7. Good. Now, what we're going to add here is we're going to start showcasing why slides can be so fun to use. Now, there's a pattern at the very E7. We're going to replace that. If you see in that second example, 2B, we're going to hit, well, starting with that E7 shape, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the C string, and then we're going to come up to the 4th fret, and then hit the A string on the 4th fret, hit the C again, now go down to the 3, A string, 3rd fret, and then 2nd fret, C string, A string, and on the A chord. Now, I'm going to play it for you one more time, but from the E7 shape, I'm going to take off my index. I'm going to play the C string once, jump up to the 4th fret, hit it again, then the A. Now, if you notice, these two guys, the middle and ring finger, will always be connected, whether on the 2nd fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret, or back to the 2nd. But then the ring finger does come off for the A. But for the slide section, these two guys stay together. So I'm going to say the C string, 2nd fret, then to the 4th fret, then the A string, C string again, down to the 3rd fret, back to the A string, down to the 2nd fret, C string, A string, and then the A chord. In speed, it's going to sound like this. I'm going to do it one more time, a little bit slower. Now, and that does sound really cool, except now is when a slide or two will actually make a big difference. And we're going to slide from that 2nd fret to that 4th fret. So I'm only going to hit the C string once this time. So it's going to sound like this, 1 and. And the secret to a good slide is that snap. Because if I go too slow, you're going to hear all the in-between stuff that you don't really want to hear. And if so, you want to snap, and make sure that first note does ring before you do snap, because if you slide too early, it doesn't really have that same effect. So C string, slide, A. Now we're going to hit the C string once more on the 4, but we're going to slide to the 3. And then the A. Then we're going to jump to the 2, C, A, and then the A chord. So it's going to sound like this. I'm going to hit the C string once and then slide to the 4th fret, and then follow that with the A. One more time. Good. Same thing, but on the way back down, I'm going to hit the C string once, slide to the 3, and then hit the A. Let's try that again. 4 to 3. Good job. One last time. Good. Now we're going to jump to the 2nd fret, C, A. So no slide here. Again, C, A, and then end on the A chord. So it's going to sound like this. Not too bad, right? So this is something that you can add, and it's going to replace, again, that E7 in this progression. Anytime you're playing an A, you can actually utilize this over that kind of turnaround chord. So with the whole progression, it's going to sound like this. The C sharp minor 7, to the B minor 7, to the E7. Not bad, right? And I'll slow it down just a hair. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 to the B minor 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and one more time. So what the great thing about this too is that you can mix and match, you can go through different other patterns, but this is something, a very similar kind of phrase that you hear in a lot of kind of traditional and even contemporary Hawaiian music as well. Like the yeah, so you can do a lot of mixing and matching with slides in accordance with the other melody notes that you're hitting. So again, the big thing to get out of this is that snap whenever you're doing a slide. For example, even other songs, the snap exactly where you want to end up, and you're going to have that nice crisp transition with those notes. Alright, now, let's see, so we did the walk down with the slide. Alright, now, another use of that slide is showcasing, and we did a little bit of this in that E7 walk down, because to get from 3 to 2, I actually slid my fingers, but I didn't want any kind of audio, I didn't want to hear that slide happen. So what I'm doing, I'm releasing the tension a little bit to make sure I don't accidentally get a note in there. So I'm releasing that tension to get to my next section. This is going to be very apparent in this next kind of example in 3A. This is a kind of walk down that is used in songs like Guava Jam. There's these cool little fun, these little sections where we can do a lot of these cool slides. So what we're going to do here, let's talk about the tricky part first. Middle finger is on the E string, 8th fret. I'm going to hit it once and slide to that 10. And again, I want to hear that nice crisp slide. So I want to snap to that 10. So I don't want to hear that. I want to hear straight to that 10. Then I'm going to drop my index finger to the 8th fret, the one I just left, but on the A string. One more time. So 8 to 10 snap on the E, and then drop my index on the 8 of the A. Now from here, I'm going to bring these two together, and I'm going to flip the strings that I'm playing. I'm going to hit the A string first on the 7, and then E, 8. So let's try up to there. So 8 to 10 slide, index drops on that A string. Good. Then the second position here, A7, A string 7th fret to the E string 8th fret. Then I'm going to slide, but not, I don't want to hear a noise, so I'm going to slide to the dots, which is the 5 on the A, 7 on the E, and then end on the C note or the 3rd fret using my ring finger. So again, that section is going to sound like this: 8 to 10 slide to the 8 on the A. Then I'm going to do the strings A, E, and then 3rd fret on the A. So from here, 7 to 8, 7 on the A to 8 on the E, slide to the 5 and 7, and then slide down to that 3. So as you see, my left hand never leaves the string. So there is a bunch of sliding that happens, but it's that control of being able to let go of some of that tension to get to the next position quickly and efficiently without hearing a lot of excess notes. Oops. So that's going to be as clean as we can get it. So again, part of this, we're going to do that G7 4 times, and C 4 times. And then when we add it in, it's going to be after a quick rest once we get to the G7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So again, part of it is a snap here, and we quickly slide to 7 and 8, slide to 5 and 7 with just a little bit of tension. So I'm letting go of the major tension, so you can hear it disappear. Whoop. And then slide down to that 3rd fret. Two, three, four, one. Oh, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Alright, so that's again going to be a good example of how we can still utilize these slides even if we're not necessarily wanting a note from that. Alright, now the last example here, we're going to be using we're going to practice now controlling that sound. So now we do want to purposely have that muting in between those chords. So we'll stick with that A chord again, 2, 1, 0, 0. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a downstrum, and then we're going to take our whatever free fingers we have, in this case the ring and pinky, and touch across all 4 strings. So it's going to sound like this: 1, mute, 3, 4, mute, 3, 4, mute, 3, 4, down, mute, 3, 4. Not too bad. And again, this is going to be the introduction to kind of being able to shape your sound, because when we apply these techniques in different ways in the future, we want to have that control. And again, there's so many ways we can utilize this technique, but this is going to get the ball rolling a bit. Now, to really practice this, what we're going to try and do now is, instead of just doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to do 4 downs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and mute after each one. It's going to sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you can see, I'm kind of bouncing these fingers because I'm only pressing when I want it to ring, and then I'm releasing the tension and bringing these guys down. We don't want to forcefully bring this down because we're going to hear an accidental hammer on, which we don't want. So it's nice, light, neutral touch. 2, 3, 4. So you can even use this for that progression that we learned earlier, the A, 2, 3, 4, that bar, and the second, and then to the 2, and to the E7. And even from that technique itself, all of a sudden you can start transforming, the vibe of a song. Let's say rest, down, up, rest, down, rest, down, up, rest, down, rest, down, up, rest, down, rest, down, up, rest, down. And compared to letting it all ring: rest, down, up, rest, down, 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 rest. You're all of a sudden, you have this really cool kind of vibe, this control again from really helping accent those hits. And even though the right hand is doing the exact same thing, it's that control with that left hand muting that really makes that much of a difference. So, part of the challenge is to find some of these songs that have been playing forever and being able to manipulate them to create something different. All right, now let's see. One thing, even for like, let's see, for like more jazzy kind of stuff, let's say we're doing an F6, and for this is going to be for those of you who wanted to kind of push out even more. This isn't, there's no we ran out of room in our article. So if you want these extra muting rhythms, definitely send us that email at cheemaisel@gmail.com. So the F6 looks like an F chord, ring finger down like a D minor on the 2nd fret of the C, pinky on the 3rd fret of the A. Alright, so from here, we're going to go to an F sharp diminished. So my pinky is going to be my anchor. So from the F6 to an F sharp diminished, this is 2 3 2 3. Looks like, let's see if that focuses. Kind of. So 2 3 2 3. All right. To a G minor 7, which looks like a B flat but no G string. To a C7. So we have, let's do twice per chord. So we have the F6, 1, 2 to the F sharp diminished, to a G minor 7, 0 2 1 1, to a C7. So here we're going to add those mutes after each downstroke. So 1, 2, diminished, to G minor 7, to C7. Again. Oops, that's C7. So, you know, it's one of the things now that we can start creating these patterns, and it's something, a lot of the standards too. You're not going to hear a lot of where it's just constant strumming. You're going to hear something more like you know, you really have so much control over these hits, and you really do start to shape that sound rather than just all the sound constantly coming out of this tiny little instrument. Let's see, a couple more. Let's do 1 2 1 2 1 2. So that was with the mutes. A more island style is that we can do the one I did earlier, 1 2 and rest 4 1, or we'll do rest 2 and rest 4 rest 2 and rest 4 with the mute after each hit. So it's going to sound like this: rest 2 and 3 4 rest 2 and 3 4 rest 2 and rest 4. Adding those mutes. Now, when I'm doing that F6 here too, and I forgot to say, because I don't have a free finger, how I'm actually getting that mute is just releasing that tension in my fingers. Not enough to come off the strings, but just enough to stop each string from vibrating, since I'm already holding all 4 strings down. So even for the diminished, same thing. You can see my fingers kind of bouncing only when I want it to ring. So this one though is going to be a little bit tricky, because I'm still going to do rest 2 and then switch chords. Next 2 and switch the chord. Rest 2 and 3 to sharp diminish. Rest 2 and 3 and 4. So we're still keeping only 2 beats per chord change, even though we only hit that secondary chord in each measure once. So it's going to be F6 twice, 1 2 and 3 diminished, 1 G minor 7 3 and C7. Again, 1 2 and 4 G minor to C7, F6 diminished, G minor to C7. So as I speed it up, you can kind of hear that vibe going. And again, you can always mix and match. You can always add more elements to make that stand out even more. But that has the gist of that kind of vibe. Again, I could do stuff like a. So a lot of control, a lot of cool things that we can create because of that left hand control. Let's see, Jazzy Rhythms with swinging eights. This is the last one on that extra page, and this one is going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait to the very last moment of the measure. So I'm doing F6 twice, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm going to hit the very and of 4 with the second chord going into the G minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for the C7. So a little bit more complicated, but a ton of fun. You know, let's try that first line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Super fun, right? All right, now let's see that second line there. Let's see, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So this one I'm doing 1 and then the and of the 2. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and. But that is going to be that chord change there. So again, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 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 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Again, just a nice variation on those hits. Now the last one we have 1 and 2. Let's see, 1 and 2 and 3. So I'm going to land on. What am I landing on? 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So on the end of the 1 and then the 3. So 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, sorry. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So again, a lot of fun kind of variations. Let's see, is that right? 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the and of the 3. So the and of the 1 and of the 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, these kind of exercises I love because it makes you more versatile. It makes you be able to adapt to different kind of situations when you're playing with others, and just to kind of change it up and make it more interesting for your listener and for yourself as well. And again, the beginning, all of this comes down to first getting that tone, that control that you can manipulate and really make your own. And you want to be very deliberate about the sound that you're making, you know. So please don't ever forget to pay attention to how your practices are sounding as well. But thank you guys so very, very much. Again, thank you to Ukulele Magazine for having Sarah and I be a guest editor on this magazine special. If you're looking for more, please check out our website at craigandsarah.com or our online school at artistworks.com. Hope to see you guys soon. Aloha.